Today we're looking at the Jamestown Colony. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. After Christopher Columbus first sailed across the Atlantic Ocean to the North American continent, other European powers were eager to establish a colony in the New World. The defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 by the English secured English dominance at sea and paved the way for English exploration of America. The English had already attempted to establish a permanent colony in the late 1580s at Roanoke Island, but the colonists there mysteriously disappeared. This discouraged many Englishmen from attempting a colony again. But in 1606, the Virginia Company of London was established with the goal of establishing a permanent colony in America. It was a joint stock company, meaning people would invest money with the company with the hopes of receiving future profits from their expeditions. There were rumors all over of huge amounts of gold being somewhere in Virginia. At the time, the English called the entire eastern coast of North America, north of Florida, Virginia, named after Queen Elizabeth, who was known as the Virgin Queen. In the same year of 1606, the Virginia Company received a charter or permission to settle land in the New World from King James I. In late December of 1606, 3 ships with approximately 100 colonists, all men, departed from England heading for North America with the goal of becoming rich, or in other words, coming for economic opportunity. After over 3 months at sea, they came in sight of Virginia in late April of 1607. They proceeded to go up the James River, which they of course named after King James, and they wanted to go far enough up the river so not to be exposed to possible attacks from Spanish ships that might be exploring the coast. On May 14, 1607, they went ashore and began building shelter and a community. These 100 colonists landed in the middle of a huge Algonquin Native American empire known as the Powhatan, named after their chief, Chief Powhatan. There was an estimated population of over 20,000 Powhatan in this area. The English colonists were completely unprepared for what they would face in the New World. Many of them literally thought they would find gold simply laying on the ground. In fact, many of them did not bring survival gear, but instead brought chemical tests for gold. Despite bringing all of the tools to find gold, no gold was found. Needless to say, almost immediately colonists began dying from disease, contaminated water, and attacks from the Powhatan. Among these colonists was a man named John Smith, who was basically a mercenary or pirate. It is recorded that Smith took charge and began to organize the colony and was able to establish trade with the Powhatan, which was virtually the only source of food for the colonists. They built a triangle-shaped fort with a storage building for weapons, a church, and several houses. They named their settlement Jamestown, again after King James. More colonists survived, and they were able to maintain a relative peace with the Powhatan. But in 1609, John Smith returned to England. When he left, communication with the Powhatan and the people of Jamestown broke down. Native Americans cut off trade and began attacking those who ventured outside of the fort. The winter of 1609 became known as the starving time, as the colonists were down to nothing and had to resort to eating rats, dogs, cats, and leather. And there's even records of cannibalism, or people eating each other. Estimates are that there were close to 500 colonists before the starving time, and only 60 remained in the spring of 1610. Right as the colonists were ready to abandon the colony, another ship arrived with 150 colonists aboard, one of which was a man named John Rolfe, who carried an important cargo with him. Rolfe had tobacco seeds. The climate and the soil of the Chesapeake region was ideal for growing the crop. Although not edible, tobacco was extremely popular back in England, and virtually everyone was smoking it. The colony now found its true wealth in tobacco, not gold. Within 10 years, every farm around Jamestown was growing tobacco. The group that came in 1610 also brought Lord Delaware, who began leading military raids against the Powhatan and expanding the colony. In 1614, John Rolfe married Pocahontas, the daughter of Chief Powhatan. The marriage brought a period of peace, and the colony continued to expand. Jamestown would be the first permanent English colony in America. In 1619, the House of Burgesses was established, which was the first representative body in America made up of Virginia landowners. This basically set a precedent that people in the colonies had a desire to govern and rule themselves. However, it would be over a century until that dream would truly be realized. So, with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.